I feel like this is the superior engine and transmission setup. And again, it's not quick. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're reviewing the all-new 2022 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. Before we get in the video though, I do want to mention if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the review. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 4-liter V6 that goes through a 5-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 270 horsepower and then 278 pound-feet of torque. And I love how they've got 6 because it's a 6-cylinder. I don't know, I thought that was funny. Now let's go over the front end of the TRD Pro, and yes, we have the electric lime color on this, which looks so cool. Like, this is a color you'd expect to see on a Lamborghini, not a 4Runner, but man, does it work. Anyways, you've got the vent here in the center of the hood, which creates some nice contrast because it's blacked out. And then you guys can see here with the headlights, they're super bright actually. And then down below with the fog lights, which are also extremely bright. And I just love like the accenting with the 4Runner. I think it looks really cool. We have the old school Toyota logo here on the front end, which I honestly prefer. And then you can see there's a camera just down below the logo. Now, if you guys are wondering from a capability standpoint, the TRD Pro has 9.6 inches of ground clearance, and we do have skid plates underneath as well to help out with the off-road protection. And we do have tow hooks, right? Just in case you get into a sketchy situation, you're all good. Now, coming around the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And you guys can see we have these TRD Pro specific wheels, which I think look absolutely fantastic. The contrast with the blacked out wheels and this electric lime just looks so cool. You do have a little bit of that red accenting there in the center. And then we've got the TRD tuned Fox shocks and then the TRD tuned suspension as well with the TRD Pro package. And you guys can see just how aggressive these tires are, and I like this tire choice because we've got quite a bit of sidewall. Notice we have the splash guard here on the side, and you can see with the mirrors, those are two-tone. Got the rack there at the top, which, I mean, you can put whatever you want up there, like a camping setup or, you know, boards to help out with getting out of sandy situations, whatever you want. We have another TRD Pro badge here on the side, and then notice with the flap here in the back, and you can't really see too much here in the rear, but there's kind of like a little bit of a look. Now we do have independent front suspension and then a solid rear axle here in the back with the 4Runner, if you guys are wondering from that setup. And well, there's your side view. Now here's our key fob for the TRD Pro. Got the Toyota logo there on the back, and let's see if this actually has Toyota's remote start system. Got to press it like a million times then hold it down. Oh, it does. Look at that. And now that it's started up, you guys can see we have the TRD exhaust here with it as well, which, let me tell you, this 4-liter V8 with that exhaust just sounds phenomenal. And again, notice here, TRD Pro there on the back again. They don't let you forget. You've got the 4Runner's distinct tail lights here. And then notice with these little controls right here to lock or unlock for the rear. You got a little camera there under the 4Runner logo. And then we'll talk about the towing capacity in a second, but there is the receiver hitch. And notice here, we've got that to press, well, I guess I didn't pull it all the way. There we go. To open up the rear hatch. Man, this review is falling all over the place. Got 4Runner logo here on the mat. Notice got a little charging port here in the rear. We have our Toyota first aid kit, which is pretty cool, especially for an off-road vehicle, and there's underneath the carpeting. But yeah, super practical from a storage space perspective in the rear. They give you this little like strap to pull it down from the inside, and then this is what you do to lower it down from the outside. You have to muscle it down a little bit to get it fully latched, if you guys are wondering, and there you go. Now here's a door panel in the rear of the 4Runner. You guys can see with the red stitching and all down below. And I love how there's padding all over the door panel. And something that I like about this material use is this would be really easy to clean off if you have kids, but then also if you do some off-roading. Same thing here with the seats as well. Notice here, no perforations or anything like that, so they're really easy to clean off. Still have the cool red stitching. No grab handle or anything. But anyways, getting in is easy enough. And then notice we have our little storage thing here. Got some vents here in the back. You can see the USBs down below. And then, of course, we have our cup holder armrest, which is absolutely massive here in the 4Runner. And let's head to the front. Now going over the front door panel, it's the same as what you have with the rear, again with that red stitching. We've got all of our window controls, and this says auto all. blind spot monitoring right there, and you can see with the door handle, pretty normal stuff. And then here are the front seats, TRD there in the headrest. And then again, notice with material use all throughout. Seats are power adjustable. We have our rubber floor mats here. Pretty normal pedals down below. Got our camera button here. This is to turn on the outlet. And you guys can see here with the mirror adjustment controls. We got some like light controls, windshield wiper controls as well. But anyways, let's pop in. Okay, so quickly, here's our payload sticker, 880 pounds of payload. And then we have a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating, you guys can see here, 6,300 pounds. So here is the steering wheel. I love the material use. It's kind of like smoother here at the top and at the bottom, perforated here on the sides. You can get a slightly better grip on the steering wheel. And then we have like our normal cruise control, lane departure assistant stuff right here. Controls for the center stack, volume controls, voice command controls, phone controls, turn signal, light stock, windshield wiper stock. And yeah, here's the steering wheel. Now, as for the gauge cluster, you guys can see you've got analog gauges on either side, and then you do have a screen here in the center, which you can scroll through different bits of information. Now, as for fuel economy, I have had the vehicle idling for quite some time for the filming of the video, and so it has kind of lowered it down, but it looks like you can pretty easily get around 15, 16 miles per gallon with around town driving, which is right around what the EPA rates it at. I haven't done a ton of highway driving yet with the 4Runner, but so far it looks like you can get, you know, around the EPA ratings. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse, so you can see we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And then notice we got our bird's eye view as well, which is pretty cool. It is a relatively large SUV, so it does help out. We've got a nice camera system. Now if I press the camera button again, you can see we've got our front camera here. And again, with the bird's eye view, press it again, you got your side view. So, not necessarily the best resolution, but it's better than having no camera, right? Now, as for the infotainment system, you've got analog controls on either side. Response time with the screen is really solid. Again, it doesn't look the most modern, but it's really easy to use. And you don't have to worry about it breaking like a lot of other modern infotainment systems, right? Now, I've got our dual zone climate controls here for the 4Runner. I love how you have like these big chunky, like just physical knobs and everything. Got some charging ports right here. We have our random cup holder. And look at this. We got like a more traditional shifter for the 4-wheel drive system. So we do have a 2-wheel high, a 4-wheel high, and then a 4-wheel low as well from a driveline perspective. And then here's the shifter for that 5-speed automatic transmission. And we'll kind of talk about this transmission a little bit later with the driving portion. I love like the carbon fiber print here in this area. And then this is for the rear window, which I'm a huge fan of. That's something that I think that is so cool with Toyotas. And then heated seats here for the front. And then I love how this mimics like the light on the front end. You can see the storage space, and there's another charging port inside of that. And then notice the red stitching. Then we have a big old glove box. You can see there with the dash. Again, all this is really easy to clean off. That's kind of the purpose of the interior, right? And we do have a regular sunroof here at the top. And we've got a bunch of controls. So we have the locker for the rear, we have the A-track system, and then the stability control as well. And let me pop it in a 4-wheel low so we can kind of go through all of these controls. First off, I want to mention this system is so easy to use. 4-wheel high, on. Over, up. 4-wheel low. Camera system on. That is how easy it is to get the 4Runner in 4-wheel low. Jeep Wrangler, take notes. Okay, so quickly, the knob here on the left side is the crawl control. I can press that, and then it'll set the speed, and basically, you guys can hear the brakes going on. Again, this is for off-road use, so I'm not gonna go too far because I'm just in my driveway. But the crawl control, right, is to help out with crawling out of situations. I will have an off-road review where we'll test that. And then we have our kind of like off-road drive mode select. So notice we have our loose rock, and then we have our mud, sand, and dirt. And then the other side, we've got our mogul, and then we have our rock crawl mode. And so again, that'll kind of change things with the system, and you can cancel it. So yeah, you've got all those different off-road drive modes. So 2 cool systems that, again, we will test out with the off-road review. Now here is the window sticker for the 4Runner TRD Pro. You guys can see the standard equipment, and pretty much everything is standard with TRD Pro models, which is pretty cool. And also, if you want to see the TRD Pro specific stuff, right there. Anyways, $53,435. Let's see how she scoots. let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors. Just do a blind spot monitoring and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So we are setting off here in the 2022 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. Now this is our on-road review. I'm actually driving to the off-road course right now to go and film the off-road review. So, you know, if you're not subscribed already, I definitely recommend subscribing so you guys can see how well this does with some fun off-roading here in Utah, which is like the coolest place to off-road, frankly. But let's talk about the daily drivability here of the 4Runner TRD Pro. And honestly, it has absolutely shocked me at how well this vehicle drives. I'm serious. Like, this is coming from someone who owns the brand new Gen 3 Raptor and a brand new Ram TRX and a Wrangler 392, right? So you know what? Not a lot of off-road vehicles impress me with their on-road or off-road driving capability. And I can tell you so far, on-road, again, just shocked at how well this drives. It's really smooth, suspension's really compliant, and it's just so easy to drive. And this 4-liter V6, although ancient, is such a solid engine. It just feels so torquey. It really does punch above its weight because, again, when you hear the power figures, you don't think, oh, this is like, you think, oh, this is not that much. But when you put your foot on the pedal and you get up and move, it feels so good. Like, this V6 feels like a V8 pretty much. Like, that's the best way for me to describe it. Again, it's not crazy powerful. Like, this is not a fast vehicle, but it does a really good job. The 5-speed automatic transmission, that was something that I was concerned about because when I had the Tacoma TRD Pro for a week, it, you know, kind of did a lot of like gear hunting, especially on the interstate. This, on the other hand, it doesn't do it. I don't know if it's because this 4-liter is just a better engine, frankly, or the 5-speed automatic's a better transmission than the 6-speed that's in the Tacoma. But what I can tell you is it doesn't do the weird gear hunting that the Tacoma does, and this gets similar fuel economy as the Tacoma. So, like, what I'm trying to tell you guys is I feel like this is the superior engine and transmission setup. And again, it's not quick. Like, you're not going to be winning any races anytime soon, but, you know, certain vehicles kind of elicit a certain type of like driving behavior in me. And when I drive this vehicle, I don't find myself doing full throttle like that pretty much ever. I just find myself just going, cruising, and just, you know, when I get up to speed, I'm just gently getting up to speed, riding on that wave of torque that you get out of the 4-liter V6, and it feels great. Seat comfort's also really nice in the 4Runner. Bolsters are great. Like, this is a very comfortable vehicle to drive in. It's such a good daily driver. Like I said, I am super impressed. If you guys hear any rattling in the videos, because of my tripod. That's not because of the 4Runner. Build quality on these things is phenomenal. I mean, that's why you can put 1,000,000 miles on these and they will still run. So yeah, let's kind of get into summing things up here with the 4Runner. I know it's not like a super long drive, but again, I'm gonna be taking this off-road where this thing was just meant to be, right? And you guys will see that off-road review soon. So exterior wise, it looks amazing. This vehicle gets so much attention. I have the new Nissan Z this week as well, and that's a brand new car, right? With crazy styling, and you'd think that that car would get a ton of attention. It doesn't get as much attention as this 4Runner. And again, it's the fact that it's a TRD Pro and it's bright green, but like this gets as much attention as like a supercar. It's crazy, but it gets a ton of attention. So I guess get a stealthier color if you don't want to get a ton of attention. Interior, no, it's not luxury. It's very utilitarian, which I really like. Everything feels durable, and again, it's very easy to clean off. And so if you do off-roading or if you have kids, this is a great interior. It's gonna hold up really well over time. And then from a driving perspective, no, it's not quick, but the power feels adequate from a daily driver perspective. This 4-liter V8 with the 5-speed automatic does much better, a much better job with daily driving than the 3.5 and the 6-speed automatic that you have in the Toyota Tacoma. I definitely prefer this setup. It sounds great. The exhaust sounds fantastic. What is this person doing in front of me? They could have went like 3 different times. The exhaust sounds just absolutely fantastic with this, right? The TRD tuned exhaust. And yeah, overall, I really like this. I like the feel of this, and I understand now why people, like so many people, buy 4Runners. I understand the popularity now. It just feel like you're driving a tank. You really do. And it's not particularly sporty. It's not any of that. What is this person doing? Oh my goodness. Here you go. People in Utah just don't know how to drive. So yeah, I'm a huge fan, and you know, the 4Runner was not on my radar before, but now after driving this, I kind of want one. Now let's get some things up for our video on this 2022 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. With that being said, I will see all of you in that next video.